Almighty and holy God, we give thanks for this beautiful day you've given us, for the opportunity to gather tonight and to do the business of this great city. We thank you for the opportunities you give to each of us who live here, and we give thanks for the blessings we have. And tonight we thank you especially for our mayor and the city commission and their leadership. We pray for our citizens here, and we pray especially for our city employees and our first responders, our fire and police. Protect them, and so many that work every day to make this a great place to live. Now, Lord, bless this meeting. May it be a place of harmony and unity, and may we do our work in keeping with your will. It's in the name of God we pray. Amen.
Amen. Let's have our pledge. I think it's my turn. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk, if you call the roll.
Commissioner Roach?
Here.
Commissioner Haynes?
Here.
Commissioner Bowers?
Here.
Commissioner Hale?
Here.
Mayor May?
Okay. If I could have a motion about the minutes.
Mayor Pro Tem, I move that we adopt the minutes as they are from August, for the minutes of August 11th, the minutes of August 18th, and I thought there was another set of minutes.
In a
in here.
special meeting.
Yeah, special meeting.
I second.
Two of the 18th.
And the special meeting of the 18th. I move that we adopt those.
The 11th.
And Commissioner Haynes seconded.
So you're, just to clarify, you're moving to approve the minutes from August 11, the special meeting, August 11, 2014 work session, and the August 18, 2014 special meeting?
Yes. Yes.
And I second it.
Thank you.
Any discussion?
Commissioner Haynes?
Yes.
Commissioner Bowers?
Yes.
Commissioner Hale?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Roach?
Yes. And seeing as we don't have any ceremonial items, we'll go to citizen comments. And under citizen comments, you have up to 5 minutes. And if you just please state your name for the record when you come on up to the podium, we'd appreciate it. Any citizen comments?
My name is Eugene Moore, and I've got, just going to read a brief letter. I want to hand each one of you all a copy so you can just go by.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I can see that.
I'm going to bring you one.
Thank you, sir. Thanks, sir.
And then, we're going to do the layers too.
Me.
Mayor Pro Tem, before Mr. Moore starts, I've had a chance to look briefly at his handout. And while city employees certainly have the right to attend city commission meetings and raise issues of general interest to the public, with respect to personnel issues involving their own employment with the city, there is a specific process provided by the ordinances and by our personnel policies and procedures. And the personnel policies and procedures does provide a problem resolution process, which Mr. Moore has taken advantage of, and he submitted a complaint concerning his personnel issue to his immediate supervisor that was then reviewed by the director of the sewer department and then reviewed by the city manager. And you may recall that the city commission declined to further review it and accepted the decision of the city manager. So pursuant to the process that's set forth in ordinance and regulations. This is really not the proper place for a complaint concerning Mr. Moore's, with all due respect to Mr. Moore, concerning Mr. Moore's employment at the city.
Basically, all this is you all made a decision based on one side, and this was the other side. And I'm just gonna read a brief statement that you see here.
Mr. Moore, if you could just hold on just a moment. So, the other Mr. Moore, so you're saying that, based on going through the process already, we shouldn't hear this?
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
But I think you've given us your letter, so we certainly can read that for ourselves.
Sure, they can certainly read any information you've provided to them.
Okay, can I ask one question?
It's up to you.
One question. Go ahead.
Okay. After reading this, I want someone to get back in contact with me and let me know an answer. You'll read this and you'll see everything because I've gotten 2 or 3 answers.
Okay. Well, Mr. Moore, I can't speak for 4 people or 5 people, but what I can say is that I'm sure everybody will read it. And then my guess is before they did a thing, they would talk to the city attorney to make sure they're not doing anything they're not supposed to do.
Okay.
And I think Mr. Moore will certainly get an answer. We'll make sure that that a response is provided, sir.
Do I leave a phone number for someone to contact them?
I think we have your address. We'll just send you a letter if that's okay.
Okay.
Well,
That's
and
fine.
that response needs to be from the body of the commission because it's a decision. It's not individuals. It's
Right.
I would say that what could occur is that a letter could be drafted and then forwarded to the commission just to make sure that
So
the
we'll
letter's
review
acceptable.
what's sent out.
Right.
Is that all right, Mr.? Okay.
yes, that's what.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Moore.
So that's it.
Yes, sir. Any additional citizen comments?
Good afternoon. I'm Sonia Sanders. First, I'd like to thank Mayor May and the Commission for appointing me to the Tourism Commission. The information that I bring you today is only informational. The second half of my duties is I am one of the assistants in the President's Office at Kentucky State University. What I'd like to do, and I don't know if this has ever been done in the past, but it doesn't matter, I'd like to bring the Commission information that pertains to homecoming. Homecoming for Kentucky State University is October 12th through October 18th. In addition to that, I would like to give you a copy of a calendar for the year. It's Diverse, which is a national magazine. In October, Kentucky State University's band is featured as one of the bands on the cover of one of the on the month. I think it is October. Yes, I do. Yes, we are one of the features in the calendar. So I have a calendar for each of you. I have all the information for homecoming. I do want to make a comment. Some of the committee members from homecoming this year met with Major Rob Richardson, and there's going to be a change to the parade route. Once that is approved, then they will distribute that information through a special announcement and a public announcement. So the citizens, hopefully a route that they've chosen will have more of the community involved. We're going to go longer up Capitol Avenue, and there seems to be a larger crowd there. So I have this if I can distribute it, and I have my card if you have any questions.
Thank you.
And the other thing I'd like to mention too, from a tourism standpoint, is that Kentucky State University did sponsor over 200 tickets to Two Loves in a River, and there were several students that were taken from classes and teachers to the play this past 2 weeks, I believe it was. So we definitely want to show our participation in the community, and if you have any questions, I'll give you my card and one of these, and you can call me. All right?
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
play at a Indianapolis Colts game recently? Kentucky State University's band.
Aren't they at the NFL game?
Miss Sanders, didn't the band play at the Indianapolis Colts game recently?
Yes, they did Monday,
Do you want to,
Monday night.
do you want to say that before the podium and
Sure.
brag a little?
Can do that.
Thank you, Mayor.
Is that okay, Mayor?
It sure is. We need good press.
In addition, on Monday Night Football this past Monday, the Kentucky State University band was featured at halftime. That's one of the things that they get to do. We will be playing in what they call the Circle City Classic on the first weekend in October in Indianapolis, Indiana. It'll be Kentucky State University versus Central State University, so I expect to see all of you there. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Any other citizen comments? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and go to ordinances. I think the city manager will read those.
City Attorney.
Oh, city attorney, sorry. Consent.
Ordinance 4.1, an ordinance fixing the rate of taxation for the year of 2014 on all tangible property subject to tax, trust, and insurance companies, public service companies, and levying said tax for all city purposes. Summary, that the 2014 City of Frankfort ad valorem tax rate is 20 9/10 cents on each $100 valuation of all real and personal property, 20 9/10 cents on each $100 valuation on public utilities and public service companies taxable on a franchise basis, 15 0.10 cents on each $100 valuation on taxable capital of insurance companies. And that's the second meeting, sir.
I move adoption.
Second. Any discussion? Go ahead and call the roll.
Commissioner Haynes?
Yes.
Commissioner Bowers?
Yes.
Commissioner Hale?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Roach?
Yes.
Ordinance 4.2, an ordinance fixing the rate of taxation for the year 2015 on all motor vehicles and levying said tax for all city purposes. Summary, this ordinance fixes the rate of taxation for the year 2014 at the sum of 22 7/10 cents on each $100 valuation on all motor vehicles subject to taxation in the city.
Move adoption.
Second.
Any discussion?
Commissioner Haynes?
Yes.
Commissioner Bowers?
Yes.
Commissioner Hale?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Roach?
Yes.
4.3 by title, an ordinance amending Frankfort Code of Ordinances, Chapter 111, Section 111.40, and Chapter 115, Section 115.09 concerning alcoholic beverage sales. Summary, the purpose of this ordinance is to amend Section 111.40 of the City of Frankfort Code of Ordinances to add additional types of alcoholic beverage licenses consistent with state law, to add fees consistent with state law, and to delete the prohibition against selling alcoholic beverages while the polls are open. And that's the second reading.
Move for adoption.
Second.
Any discussion?
I just wanted to make one comment. I appreciated Mr. Davenport coming and speaking to us at the work session. He made me at least stop and think about it a little bit more. And I basically agreed with what he said, but I think it's important for laws to be the same within the city and the county. And that's what's influenced my vote.
Any other discussion?
Commissioner Haynes?
Yes.
Commissioner Bowers?
Yes, and I too appreciate Mr. Davenport's comments, and this ordinance has a couple of parts that are married together for the purpose of passage or not, and I know that it's controversial, part of it is, but I still believe that people can choose their personal behaviors. So I think it is important that we're consistent with state law and that we're not vastly different than the county on this. Because if we're different than the county on this, then people are just going to drive over the city line and bring it back. So it really doesn't affect anything. It just makes us consistent. So, yes.
Commissioner Hale,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Roach.
Yes.
Ordinance number 4.4 by title, an ordinance rezoning property for an approximately 33.976 acre parcel of property known as Tract 4B of the Frankfort Research and Office Park, being 300 Sarah Boulevard, Frankfort, Kentucky, and owned by the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and being more specifically described as part of PVA map number 075-0000-023.02 from SG, that's Special Government, to PO, Professional Office District. Summary. This ordinance approves a zone map amendment from SG, Special Government, to PO, Professional Office District for the approximately 33.976 acre parcel of property referred to as Tract 4B of the Frankfort Research and Office Park, being 300 Sauer Boulevard, Frankfort, Kentucky, more specifically described as part of PVA map number 075-0000-023.02, and being more particularly described in the legal description attached here to copy on file in the office of the city clerk. And that's a second reading.
Move approval.
Second.
Any discussion?
Commissioner Haynes,
Yes.
Commissioner Bowers,
Yes.
Commissioner Hale,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Roach.
Yes.
4.5, and this is the first reading, an ordinance to amend the City of Frankfort's Code of Ordinances, Chapter 152, by amending the City of Frankfort zoning regulations, Article 4, Sections 4.20, Professional Office District, and 4.22, General Commercial District of the City of Frankfort's zoning ordinance. Summary. This ordinance amends the city's zoning ordinance, Article 4, by amending Section 4.20, Professional Office District, and Section 4.22, General Commercial District, by adding new uses, density, intensity requirements, and incentives for properties from Ewing Street to Logan Street and the north side of 3rd Street to the Kentucky River.
Move for approval. Oh, sorry, I got carried away.
That's all right.
He's going to approve next time.
Any discussion?
We're saving it first for the next month, right?
Yes, ma'am. Any discussion?
And the next is 4.6, and I would like to take just a moment, sir, if I could. After 4.6, which is an ordinance concerning the solid waste program, Mr. Bradley and I received a call from Commissioner Hale, and she suggested a couple of revisions, and if I could describe those for the commission, and then you all can decide whether you want to read the new version that I have in my left hand or the one that's in the book. You all can make a decision. The first change was you may recall that pursuant to the ordinance, if this ordinance is passed, if someone's garbage can has been taken by the city because they have failed to pay their garbage fee in full, and I'm looking at paragraph 50.13D. In the last sentence of 50.13D, we say that in order to get your garbage container back, you have to pay the amount due in full, okay? And Commissioner Hale was correct in pointing out that we had also talked about the possibility of entering into a payment plan, so that if you're unable to make pay the amount due in full at one time, you can enter into a payment plan and therefore make the payments under the payment plan and still get your garbage can back. So that revision was made.
Did we talked about a payment plan with 4 installments, is that? in here?
Well, we did not set the number of installments,
Okay.
but I don't think we need to do that. I mean,
Okay.
we do payment plans all the time for taxes, so we're pretty familiar with
Okay.
preparing those. Let's see, we also made a clarification in paragraph 50.02B, just to indicate that residential solid waste and recyclable material placed in approved city containers or bags shall be collected. And that just emphasizes that if you want your trash picked up, it has to be in the approved city container, which is issued by the city. And then we just indicated in the next sentence.
Wait, so instead of any suitable container, that's where you're making a change, so we,
Correct.
okay.
They've got to be approved city containers or bags. And then in the next sentence, we say during unlimited pickup days scheduled by the Public Works Department, then the residential solid waste may be placed in any suitable container. Because there's a difference.
Yes.
There's a difference with your
Right.
normal weekly pickup.
Right.
You know, which needs to be in the city-issued containers. However, on the unlimited pickup days, and they're either 4 a year or 6 a year, on those, as long as the trash is placed in a suitable container, then the garbage truck will pick the material up.
You know,
So-
I thought that's the way it already was.
And that is the way it already is. This
Okay.
just kind of clarifies that.
Okay.
I like the clarifications that Commissioner Hill has given, because then there won't be any questions about it. We'll have to go back and.
So the practice this is consistent with what we said.
All right. If I can pass these down then. And the description and title are the same, so I'm going to read the description and title. And of course, Ramona will have a copy of this one that we're reading tonight.
Before you do that, just thank you very much.
Well, thank you. Thank you. This is again 4.6 by title, and this is the version that we just discussed. By title, an ordinance, and this is the first reading. An ordinance amending Chapter 50 garbage solid waste, Sections 50.02, 50.04, 50.13, and 50.99 of the City of Frankfort Code of Ordinances concerning collection of garbage fees. In summary, this ordinance amends Chapter 50 of the City of Frankfort Code of Ordinances by specifically amending Sections 50.02, 50.04, 50.13, and 50.99 to provide that the owner, tenant, or lessee of a residential unit located in the city shall participate in the garbage program, that the city may, for a fee, pick up and dispose of property that's been set out on the curb upon eviction of a lessee, that the city may collect a residence garbage container and recycling container if the owner, tenant, or lessee has failed to pay the applicable fee, and shall not return the containers until the amount has been paid in full or by payment plan, and that the city may file a lien against the owner, tenant, or lessee of a property that has failed to pay the applicable garbage fee. Additionally, the reference to Board of Code Enforcement has been revised to state Nuisance Code Hearing Board. And that's the first reading.
Any discussion, further discussion?
Well, we talked about a reinstatement fee.
That's in there.
Okay.
It's $50.
Then there was discussion about names in the paper, and I want to clarify, I think that there was some statement in the paper where I said that'll get their attention or something, or that'll excite them, and I certainly did make that statement, but I really don't think that we need to be publishing the names in the paper, because I don't think shaming people brings about positive behaviors that you look for. I think that the penalty that we have in here, the collection of the cans and the stopping of service and the reinstatement fee, should do the job. I don't think we need to embarrass people. I don't think that does us any good. But so I don't think we need to do names in the paper. I don't know if that was actually something that we determined, but there was discussion about it.
Other discussion? Just to clarify that, Commissioner Bowers, I think the way we left it, and we can change it, but I think the way we left it was that the people that owed those large sums, the city attorney would start getting the money for the city, either through letters or court action or payment plans or those kind of things, then I thought there was going to be a letter that would go out, starting with the ones that owed the most and working the way down. And then if that didn't work, then it would go to the newspaper. And if that didn't work, then we would take the can. I think that's where we were. Now, as far as the Shane not working, I don't know. I tend to think that on the, we do that with the property taxes. And my guess is that we have already gotten a lot of people pay the last few weeks after the newspaper article because they decided that either their spouse may have decided that they didn't want to have their name in the newspaper. And so I would suspect it'll work.
I think what probably will work is when people realize they're not going to get trash pickup. But I think that the public knows that this is where we're headed. I mean, if y'all want to put names in the paper, that's fine. That was just not my recommendation, and I think the newspaper made it sound as if it were. But if that's what the commission wants to do, that's fine. I think the key to all of this is to let people know that when you don't pay for your service, you don't receive your service. And I really think that when all is said and done and we collect these fees and we're back on base, I think we really need to re-examine this whole pay-as-you-throw concept because we heard the other night in the work session that recycling recently has actually started to decrease from the peak growth right after the program started. And there is going to be a lot of time and funds taken to address this problem with 40% of the bills not being paid. That's a great percentage of the billing that we're not getting the funds for. That's time, that's effort. And so at some point, I think this commission or the next one will need to relook at the pay-as-you-throw and see if it's really efficient and if we need to continue. I think that we might want to take a look back at what worked before. But that's not for tonight's discussion, but I think we need to re-examine that. Something that is not working as well as a program that worked before and is costing us more money is not really the best use of tax dollars. But, we're not voting on this tonight, right?
No, ma'am. All we're
Okay.
doing is this is to just change the language so we have the ability to take their can.
Well, I like that Commissioner Hale made those recommendations, so I'm fine with the new version.
And if I could ask one question on 50.04, that's what authorizes a landlord who has properly evicted a tenant to contact the city garbage department to pick up the trash or the material that's been set out and have it be picked up after a period of time. And you'll see that we say a copy of the order of eviction and payment of X amount has to be made to the city in order for the city to pick up that material that's been set out but which has not been recovered by anyone. And as the first part of the first reading, can we put an amount in there? And I don't know whether you want to put $50, if that's enough, but from the Public Works Department, or whether you want to put more than that, but
I thought we had $50 somewhere else.
we have $50 to pay as an administrative fee when you're getting that you have to pay when you are
Reinstate.
getting your cans back after you've paid your delinquency. So we could use $50, but I don't know if that's sufficient. Maybe Tom Bradley, the Director of Public Works, could tell us how much he thinks is appropriate.
Typically, the wording here is for a set out for a landlord that we don't normally service. And typically, when you have evictions of this type, it is a larger amount of material. So I would think at least 50, maybe 75 would be a better number, but I'll leave that up to the commission.
Well, are you saying like we've done on some of them, minimum of $50 not to exceed 75? I know on other things, if we had a range, that determination is made.
No, if for someone that we normally service. And they set out a bulk set out, we charge $25 to pick up what they're taking. But there are cases in town where you have apartment complexes that are more than 8 units per lot of record, and we don't service them at all. And so when they set something out on the side of the road, we have to, or they want us to come and clean that up. Naturally, the right of way needs to be cleaned up. And so we just need to come up with language in the ordinance that allowed us to go do that and set a price to go collect it. So these are not, I'm hesitant to use the word customer, but these are not properties that we normally service.
I like the $50 only because it's consistent.
Okay.
And from my understanding, it used to be done for free. Did you all used to do that for free?
Probably at one time, we did a lot of things for free.
Okay. Well, $50 is a good
30
increase.
years.
Makes it easy to remember.
Anything else?
I have a quick question, only since I'm not getting involved in the dollars, since I'm one of the people that does set people's stuff out, that then calls the city to do this. But, when they get a 1 day and you go the next day and you set their stuff out on the curb, so from that point in time, 24 hours between that and that is when it would be picked up?
Yes.
Okay. And how do we, and we get a written request to you all,
Mm-hmm.
copy of the order of eviction and the payment?
Yes, sir.
All right. But that's never happened before, correct?
No.
Okay. I think you'll probably lower your business on it, but that makes sense because you need to know that in fact that's occurring and it's not just, they're just not just calling you to come get the garbage.
I believe it happened before I was here, but I believe there was an incident of someone setting out and the city cleaned it up, and then the homeowner had an issue with us cleaning it up.
I understand.
Or their tenant had an
Okay.
issue with us cleaning it up.
All right.
So,
Thank you.
all right. Anything else?
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem.
With the orders, we don't have any, so we're at resolutions.
I thought Tim was doing
Resolutions? All right. The first item, Your Honor, 6.1 is a resolution approving an interlocal agreement creating the Bluegrass and Central Kentucky Unified Waste Protection System, also known as backups, and authorizing the mayor to sign all relevant documents.
Move adoption.
Second.
Any discussion?
Just sounds like a great idea. You know, all of our counties are so close. You know, reading through the materials, I'm surprised we didn't have that before. So very glad to see that come through.
I'm sorry. Item second, six,
No. 6.1.
to vote.
Yes. Well,
Commissioner Haynes,
Yes.
Mayor, Commissioner Bowers,
Yes.
Commissioner Hale,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Roach.
yes.
Item 6.2 is a resolution to authorize from bond proceeds the reimbursement of the city for initial expenses incurred in the construction of the Family Aquatic Center prior to the issuance of the bond. Those expenses that are made prior to the issuance of the bond.
Okay. Any discussion?
Move for approval.
I'm sorry.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Commissioner Haynes,
Yes.
Commissioner Bowers.
Yes.
Commissioner Hale,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Roach.
Yes.
Item 6.3 is a resolution authorizing the filing of an application for 2014 Transportation Alternative Grant Funds and designating the mayor to execute all documents pertaining to this grant.
I move for approval.
Second.
Any discussion?
Commissioner Haynes,
Yes.
Commissioner Bowers,
Yes.
Commissioner Hale,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Roach.
Yes.
Are you ready for the consent
Yes,
calendar? Mr. Mayor? Item 7.1 of the consent calendar is the city's portion of $3,000, which is the city's portion of a joint funding agreement with the U.S. Geological Survey to operate the gauging station upstream of Lock 4 on the Kentucky River. Item 7.2, $27,786.60 payment to the Mission Communications for telemetering on the sanitary sewer pump stations. The contract is through August 31, 2015. Item 7.3 is not to exceed $15,000 contract with Essential Safety LLC to provide health and safety training for sanitary sewer employees. Item 7.4 is the sewer department purchase of 7 Telog flow monitor meters for not to exceed $50,000. Item 7.5 is $18,325 amendment number 3 with CDM Smith to provide resident review and additional design for the Crestwood Sanitary Sewer I&I inflow and infiltration removal project. Item 7.6 is a 9-month, $2,500 per month agreement with Adam Lanning to provide consulting services to operate the sanitary sewer plant until a new deputy director is hired. Item 7.7 is to trade in 8 obsolete LifePak 10 cardiac monitors for values between $100 and $750 per unit to the LifePak company as a credit toward future LifePak purchases. Item 7.8, $29,339.81 Ford Explorer purchase through the state contract for the fire department. Item 7.9 is a $1,000 purchase of written tests from Dono and Associates for the firefighter recruiting process. Item 7.10 is an $83,413.78 contract that includes construction services with ADE Contracting to install sidewalks in the Ridgeview subdivision. Item 7.11 is a $5,061.65 contract that also includes construction services with ADE to repair about 300 feet of sidewalk along Garden Point and Woodridge Drives. Item 7.12 is to waive an approximate $20,000 payment in lieu of taxes for the Frankfort Housing Authority for 2013. Item 7.13 is to approve a $26,200 emergency repair to the flood wall performed by Herrick & Company. Item 7.14, not to exceed $46,000 contract with Integrated Services to design the Bondurant Safe Routes to School project, subject to KYTC approval. Item 7.15 is $18,500 contract with Consulting Services, Inc. to provide concrete, masonry, and soils inspection for the Family Aquatic Center. Item 7.16 is 2 quitclaim deeds, one to G.F. Bessinger and Reba Rye, and the other to William and Francis Crumbaugh, conveying excess right-of-way in the Garden Point and Northgate subdivisions respectively. Item 7.17 is to authorize the mayor or his designee to sign a contract with Standard Insurance providing employee group life insurance. Item 7.18 is personnel. There are appointments. The first is Brett Blanton as Patrol Officer 1, effective 9/23/14. Appointment of Stephen Maggart as Patrol Officer 1, effective 9/16/14. Appointment of Mary Cardwell as Accounting Specialist, effective 8/26/14. Appointment of Ricky Skelton as Transit Driver, effective 9/2/14. Appointment of Raymond Pettibone as Telecommunicator 1, effective 9/30/14. Appointment of Kim White as HR Specialist, effective 10/3/14. We have resignations. Resignation of Adam Lanning, Deputy Director, and authorized payment of accrued leave, effective 9/24/14. Resignation of Lisa Agee, Administrative Specialist, and authorized payment of accrued leave, effective 8/31/14. Resignation of Greta DeSantis, Telecommunicator, authorized payment of accrued leave, effective 8/27/14. Resignation of Maya DeRosa, Planning Supervisor, authorized payment of all accrued leave, effective 10/8/14. And Justin Thurman, Public Works Tech 1, effective 9/16/14. Concludes the consent agenda, Your Honor.
Thank you. Got a board appointment, from Human Rights Commission. Okay.
Move for approval.
Second.
You want to tell us who it is? I know who it is, but we might tell the public. I'm sorry, what?
We're in the middle of a motion.
She thinks we're moving to.
I went too fast, Commissioner Bowers. We're back to accepting the consent agenda.
Sure.
Okay, go ahead.
Are we on the consent agenda motion?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you get a second?
Yes. Commissioner Haynes,
Yes.
Commissioner Bowers,
Yes.
Commissioner Hale,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Roach.
Yes. Now we'll go to board appointment. I'm sorry. We have an appointment to the Human Rights Commission, Katie French, to fill a vacancy for a term ending 12/1/15.
I move we accept that recommendation.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none?
Commissioner Haynes,
Yes.
Commissioner Bowers.
Yes.
Commissioner Hale,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Roach.
Yes. Okay, we'll go ahead and go to old business. We'll go ahead and do the one that's there, and then if anybody's got any after that.
Would you like? Want me to read it?
Yes, you go ahead, City
Will
Manager,
do
thank
so.
you.
Item 9.1, authorization to accept grant funds for the creation of design guidelines for the Special Historic District and authorizing the mayor to execute all grant-related documents.
You want a motion?
Yes, please.
I move that we, well, should I say accept, adopt? This is for the mayor to sign documents, is that correct?
Yes,
Well, I
ma'am.
move that we allow him to do that.
Second.
I move we accept the recommendation here, that's what I mean.
Thank you. Any discussion?
Just one thing I want to make for clarification. On one part there said the grant was awarded on August the 6th, 2014, so it's really already been awarded.
It is.
Thank you.
I just had a quick thing on clarification. Also, Gary, I just want to make sure I got this right. If you could come up real quick, it won't take 30 seconds. So we're accepting the grant. The grant has been narrowed to the area where the Corner of Celebrities is. And we'll use some of that information to work on the central business district.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then we're looking at shrinking the boundary of the South Frankfort for help me with the language.
Yes.
Okay.
For the Special Capital District, during the grant consultant work, we'll be having neighborhood meetings and staff meetings and meetings with the zoning update committee to determine what would be most appropriate as far as the boundary of potential reducing the area and rezoning the outer area back to just non-historic.
So we're getting the consultant, which will look in the Special Historic District.
Yes, sir.
And then from that, we'll take ideas to be consistent in the Central Business District and the district where South Frankfort is.
Yes, the format of the new guidelines staff will be able to use those to
Okay.
make new guidelines for central business.
And then we will look at, depending on public input and other things, look at shrinking the area in South Frankfort and then letting the rest of it, if it goes that way, be just general residential.
Correct.
And then if there's any tweaks or changes that needs to be made to the Central Business District, it would be made at that time as well, correct?
Yes,
And
that's the plan.
gotcha. Now, what is your estimated time on this plan, which is always my favorite question?
The RFP for the special historic, the funds are to be spent by July 2015, so that one's a short window. And during that time frame, we should have the public meetings and have a recommendation with you in that same time frame as far as what we're going to do with special capital. The Central Business District, there's some litigation pending.
You had said
And
that.
I'd kind of like to see how that pans out before I make changes.
Do you have any
to that.
sense on how long that litigation's gonna last?
Feels like it's been there a year. It's probably been there 8 months or more. I have no idea.
Just trying to maybe get through this process before we're dead. Okay,
So-
thank you.
So the Special Historic District will utilize these funds from this grant by next summer?
Yes.
Okay.
And we can ask for extension should there be circumstances. But the goal for the RFP is to have it completed and also actual training to the Architects Review Board as part of that funding.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Haynes,
Yes.
Mr. Bowers,
Yes.
Commissioner Hale,
Yes,
Mayor Pro Tem Roach.
Yes. Okay, who's got some other old business?
Well, I have one piece of old business, but it doesn't take a vote. I want to thank Gary and his folks, and the Sequoia House. I want to say it's 108 Sequoia. But, you know, Carol Banks and her whole flock of community people are very thankful what you did over there. And also Bill Robinson, I think his name is Bill Robertson, over in Thornhill is very appreciative. I think even the city manager went out on some of these runs. Because many times, you know, a lot of things we do, it's the big picture, but we have some individuals that have had problems for a long time. And when it's in their community or ours, you know, we want to see something done. So I was glad to see some emails, and the person stopped me personally to make sure that I thank you. So I want to make sure I did it in a proper place. Thank you.
Other old business. I've got a couple. I just was gonna.
You always have old
I know
business.
that's another shock. The letter that we got from, I think from Tim, that Rob drafted about enforcement of liens, collection of amounts due to the city of Frankfort. There was like 6 items. And the third one was the commission may pass an ordinance providing that city licenses will not be issued to individuals or entities that have delinquent city taxes, city fees, PMC liens, and nuisance code liens. I just kind of wanted to see what people thought about that one.
We talked about that in the work session a little bit.
We did.
What do you think of that?
Well, I think they need to make sure they paid those things before they get other city licenses.
yeah,
Otherwise, there's not much point in having them.
I agree. I think it's important that citizens know that they're expected to pay when they have something due. And so I think it's a good idea for us to adopt that.
I echo what's already been said, because the part we've been having problems with is the enforcement. And I think this would clarify the enforcement to, you know, if you don't do this, then this happens. If you don't have consequences, we're going to get what we've always gotten, and that's nothing. So I'm in agreement that, you know, that I definitely support that recommendation on number 3.
So,
There you go.
Mr. Moore, what do we need to do?
Well, I suppose we need to draft an ordinance for you all to look at. Perhaps, do you want to see it at the October work session or the November work session?
October.
October. We knew that before you asked.
We want to get the money rolling in.
Well, here's Bill. Take over.
Not much left.
Well, there's not much left now.
Well, I was glad we got through early, but
Just kidding. Number 6, on that same letter, it says, the city may implement the following process where the property owner has obtained a building permit to correct the cited condition. The building permit will expire after 6 months. Thereafter, the appropriate board may only grant one additional 6-month extension of the permit. I guess I had a question. Guess that's you again, Gary. And then I think the point of this, and you correct me if I'm wrong, the point of this is, let's say, for example, that I have enough money to buy a $500,000 piece of property, but there's $1 million in improvements that need to be made. And I turn 3 or 4 screws and put in 4 nails, and then 6 months later, because I've done that, I get another extension. Is this designed to halt that? What's the purpose of this?
The concept and purpose would be, we suspend code violations when you obtain a building permit or zoning permit to correct them. And those are controlled by the state's building code rules. What we're suggesting is a policy change is that after 6 months, the first 6 months, you get a permit, 6 months later, we'll go back, look at it. If you have not completed the code violation sections, you would be cited and go before the nuisance code board. And the code board would then determine, should the owner appeal it, request more time for those code violations, knowing that they have a valid permit or not a valid permit at that time. Because the permit doesn't technically expire, and if progress has been made on other areas, but it does expire if they don't do anything. But I believe that was the goal.
So what do you think?
It was one of my original, prior suggestions of consideration, so I think it's a good idea to have a time to let owners work on it that need a permit. And in 6 months, if not, they get a citation. It'll be a $200 up to $1,000. Usually it's a $200 fine. They either can pay and get 30 days automatically, or they request a hearing, which is free, and go before the nuisance code board. And then the code board can give them 6 months, 3 months, a year, however long they determine is appropriate through a public process, instead of just suspending it indefinitely. Because permits are typically $50. We've had a few that they expire, they come in, they renew, spend $50, they get another automatic 6 months. Neighbors don't like that.
So
Typically,
you can basically work on something in perpetuity,
yes, or not work on something.
or not work on something as the case may be.
Yes,
And then this would allow, by going to the board, you would be able to, if you have an extraordinary situation or an abnormal situation, you can plead your case to them and be given additional time.
yes, and the city would be saying, we're working with property owners. We already work with them for about 60 days prior to this point. They get the permit, get 6 months to, we want you to focus on the code violations. And if it takes more due to weather, due to whatever reasons, instead of staff saying, okay, it would go before a board 90% of the time. And then they have that say, and neighbors are welcome to come and say what they feel.
I think that makes sense. What do y'all think?
I think so too.
I think you're
Okay. We want to do, that's all right. We want to do that one too, Mr. Moore.
Okay.
Number 6,
I'll work with Mr. Mueller to get both those done.
October.
That's of 2015?
Whatever's good for you.
We'll
You
have it ready by 20.
6 months to get it ready.
Thank you,
And then
sir.
we'll send you before the board.
We'll have it by October.
And, well, Gary, I got another question. Old business. Sorry. You know, maybe you get some exercise.
Enjoy it.
All right. We talked about demolitions at the work session, and I think tell me that process again, where we go now?
On that list, 3 of them already had been cited
I remember.
to demolish. We're sending letters to the other ones indicating we're starting the due process. They'll get a citation. They can request more times, permits to correct, permits to demolish it themselves. I think there were 4 that ownership had changed. 2 wanted to demolish it themselves. The other 2 weren't sure what they wanted to do. And so theoretically, it would need to go to the nuisance code board twice, at least once, for failing to comply with that board order to fix it or raise it. And then we are seeking bids for those, we're making those calls. We're getting individual bids now. I think we'll get a better bid as a group, but I don't want to give them the group until we've heard.
Do you
from
know what the group is?
Exactly.
So, what's our timeline?
4 to 5 months. We should have a good bid. Takes,
How about 4?
we can do 4. We can report back in 3. or two.
Two.
For sure. I'll let you know where we're at. By then, well, the citations will have gone out, we'll hear from them, I want to know who's scheduled before the board. There's no hearing in December by that board, so it's gonna, December's hard to get things done with most of our boards.
I'm sure you can persuade them.
We did demolish the city within the last 12 months, have removed 10 structures, both over 2 fiscal year monies. And you had asked, do you want me to go ahead and, if I may, the collection rate of the liens and the bills for the past 12 months, I was able to calculate those up. If you remove the 10 demolitions, we're collecting 17% now, which is
Better than last year.
better than last year. If you include the demolitions, we are almost at 2%. Because we spent $70,000 in demolitions approximately over that 2 year time, over that 2 fiscal year time period. The total amount in the past 12 months was 97,000, and when you remove the demolitions, it's 12,000.
So we collected 17%, not counting demolition.
Correct. Which is an improvement.
So 2% after we factor that away, right?
17 if you take demolitions out of the mix.
So we end up really just with 2% after you subtract it.
Correct.
But the,
So 2%.
and then your thoughts are this nuisance board is gonna raise our percentage over time.
Yes. Anytime, it elevates the capture rate of those liens compared to when we had the property maintenance code, once the property is sold. It doesn't change when an owner decides to pay the city, one way or another. But when the property is transferred, the likelihood of us getting that money or part of that money dramatically increases, yes. And that was the whole purpose of changing that board to a different statute of KRS.
Y'all have any more questions for Gary?
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Roach, and
There's that 12-month numbers if you'd like to look at it.
okay, is there any other old business before we move into new business? Okay, next item, new business, we have 10.1. This is regarding a contract with H&H Resources for the disposal of dewatered biosolids from the wastewater treatment plant. Any questions on 10.1? If not, are you ready for a motion?
I have some.
You're looking.
Items 1 and 10.1 and 10.2 are tied together.
Oh, City Clerk said 10.1 and 10.2 are tied together, so we can go accordingly. You have some questions? Yes, sir.
I did, they rest, I think probably all of us do. I just, I want to double check with Bill that it's cheaper to go to the landfill with 100% than to divide it.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay? Well,
So then can they be separated? Do they have to be separated in order for us to, okay.
so can we just choose to send it all to the landfill?
That option exists in the proposal that was sent out, yes.
Okay. And it's cheaper?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm for that.
Just from my recollection, the reason we had 25% was, that was the part that could, it was something about the environment that can be used and something just to make sure.
The
Why would
the 25% that goes to the land farm is what's classified essentially as a beneficial reuse of the biosolids. It's taken by H&A Resources and spread out onto permitted farms as a soil supplement for those properties.
whereas obviously what's going to the landfill is going to the landfill.
But over the long term, that's actually environmentally corrective as well.
There are benefits to that too.
So one, the land farming is like more immediate environmentally corrective. And the landfill, sending it to the landfill is beneficial too. It just takes longer for the benefit to work. Am I right? In a nutshell?
Well, there's
No?
there's consequences to both. On the land farming, yes, there is some environmental positive, as people see it, to land farm. However, to get it to a Class B biosolids, which you have to land farm it, there is a significant energy consumption.
Right.
That
So-
energy consumption obviously has a carbon footprint.
Right.
So, there's that aspect of it. Of course, either one, whether we transport it to the landfill or to the farms, there's a transport cost, which is burning gasoline, which has a carbon footprint.
Well, and the landfill, I thought we talked about, it actually helps over the long run to break it down. It actually has sort of like a composting effect.
It will break the garbage down quicker,
Right.
yes.
So it actually is environmentally corrective. They both are.
Yes, they both have their pros, they both have their cons.
So if they both have their pros and they both are environmentally, they correct a problem or they help us solve a problem, then it makes sense to go with the less expensive option. I believe.
I do too.
I just want the public to know that choosing the landfill over a part going here and part going there is not being environmentally irresponsible. In
Correct.
fact, it's actually being responsible, both monetarily and environmentally. So, there you go.
And I did some research on it and couldn't find, because I like to think that I, do things green. And, and so I did some research on it, and even in the research I could find there are still pros and cons with the environmental aspect of land farming. So I couldn't find a good reason to do the land farming when it costs us more.
It's like we're going to cheaper route.
Any further? Anybody want to make a motion on 10.1?
I make a motion that we do all of it for the landfill. I don't know how that fits with the 10.1, since we kind of did them together.
Yeah, that would be,
I make a motion we send it all to the landfill.
okay. Motion by Commissioner Rhodes to send all the dewatered biosolids from the wastewater treatment plant to the landfill.
A second.
Second by
We're trying to
Commissioner Hale.
get somebody else.
Okay. Any discussion? Commissioner Hale. Any discussion? See none. Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Roach,
Yes.
Commissioner Haynes.
Yes.
Commissioner Bowers.
Yes.
Commissioner Hale.
Yes.
Mayor May.
Yes. Approval for sending dewatered biosolids to the from wastewater treatment plant to landfill. All right, so, yeah. So then we'll pass over the second 10.2, move to 10.3. 10 point,
Did we vote, excuse me, Mayor, just to make sure we're technically correct, did we vote to approve one of the contracts?
the motion was to approve sending 100% of dewatered biosolids from wastewater treatment plant to the landfill.
Which would be the contract on 10.2.
So is that right?
Correct.
We need to go back and reword that.
So we need to authorize you as mayor to sign the contract with Republic Services to landfill.
100%.
It changed the 75% to 100%.
Correct.
So if someone could make that motion.
That it would be with Republic.
That would be with Republic, yes, sir.
So,
I make a motion that we send 100% of the was the biosolids to the landfill Republic Services under 10.2 and changed 75% to 100%.
And that's to enter into the contract
Yes,
with
sir. Enter
Republic
into the
Services.
Contract with Republic Services.
Okay. And that would be for dewatered biosolids.
I'll second.
Second, motion by Commissioner Roach, second by Commissioner
There-
Hale.
There's,
Go ahead. Go ahead. You have it. Well, I'm
I'll
already in
ask,
a roll call.
we have discussion now, so I can ask Bill Scaff to tell me something.
Yeah, I didn't call for a roll call. You can go to discussion then. But I've got a motion though.
You got a
Well,
second?
maybe on discussion, someone could ask
I'm
Mr.
asking.
Scott's question.
Okay,
I'm
you have
just
a question. Go ahead.
Can you tell us something?
Certainly. I just want, the amount of that contract will be $199,436, which is not the amount that's in item 10.2.
So,
Okay.
we are saving
Oh.
money.
And that's with Republic.
With Republic, yes.
199,436.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, any new discussion? Not, clerk, please call roll.
Commissioner Roach,
Yes.
Commissioner Haynes.
Yes.
Commissioner Bowers.
Yes.
Commissioner Hale.
Yes.
Mayor May.
Yes. 10.2 with the 100% change is approved. Next item is 10.3, and this authorization to enter into an agreement as financial advisor with Raymond James and Associates in the city of Frankfort. This is in the amount of $30,000, and this is available from the 2014 GO bond proceeds.
Move for approval.
Moved by Commissioner Haynes,
I'll second.
second by Commissioner Hill. Any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please call roll.
Commissioner Roach,
I can't vote on this. I'm too close to the party.
Commissioner Haynes.
Yes.
Commissioner Bowers.
Yes.
Commissioner Hale.
Yes.
Mayor May.
Yes. China, would Commissioner Roach need to just vote present so he's not counted in the majority?
Yes.
Present.
Okay.
Otherwise, I don't want you to get, would that,
Yes. That would do it.
If he abstains, generally that means you vote with the
Can he just recuse himself?
successful.
Recuse himself.
Normally, a letter is submitted, and so I'll provide you with the form, and you could just submit that.
Thank you.
just want to be sure.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, next item is 10.4. This is authorization for the mayor to sign the reclassification form for cities pursuant to KRS 81.005. As you all know, that's legislation that changes things from first, second, third, fourth class, and fifth class cities to like a city of home rule class city. And we have a document that needs to go to the Secretary of State's office. Didn't sign that I was standing here this weekend, I didn't sign that one. Almost did. But it's due by January 1st, so authorization or questions on that?
I just have
Good.
a question that doesn't pertain to Frankfort, but just out of curiosity. Every city in the state is now home rule, except I can't figure out if Louisville is or
No,
not.
they're classified as different styles.
Okay, what about like, okay,
Yeah, and Louisville's still,
Alderman,
well, the same.
but is it still first class?
They don't go by class anymore.
I know that, but I'm reading something that tells me that where everything is listed as a home rule, but then in another document, everything's listed as home rule except Louisville, so it's a Louisville question. I was just curious if you knew the answer.
They're a metro form of government under a separate statute. This was all those cities that were not under the same statute that Louisville,
Okay.
Jefferson County was under.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we have the form,
It was in your book,
so it's,
copy.
Okay.
it just. Okay, any other questions?
No, thanks.
All right.
Move for approval of 10.4.
Moved by Commissioner Haynes,
Second.
moved by Commissioner Hill. Any further discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please call roll.
Commissioner Roach?
Yes.
Commissioner Haynes?
Yes.
Commissioner Bowers?
Yes.
Commissioner Hale?
Yes.
Mayor May?
Yes, 10.4 is adopted. Next item, 10.5, is to approve professional service contract for electrical inspections for a backup inspector, and that would be with Mr. Craig Bitzer. It's recommended by the state that we do have a contract in place from the House, State Building, Housing, and Inspection Office.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Moved by Commissioner Roach,
Second.
second by Commissioner Haynes. Any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please call roll.
Commissioner Roach?
Yes.
Commissioner Haynes?
Yes.
Commissioner Bowers?
Yes.
Commissioner Hale?
Yes.
Mayor May?
Yes. Next item, 10.6, approve agreement with Stoll King and Ogden to serve as bond counsel for issuance of bonds in the not to exceed $5 million for the City of Frankfort Family Aquatic Center. And we do have funds available.
Move for approval.
Moved by Commissioner Haynes,
Second.
second by Commissioner Roach. Any further discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please call roll.
Commissioner Roach?
Yes.
Commissioner Haynes?
Yes.
Commissioner Bowers?
Yes.
Commissioner Hale?
Yes.
Mayor May?
Yes. Next item, 10.7, is to approve, or to generate a purchase order with Solvay Chemicals to provide parasitic acid for disinfection of effluent at the wastewater treatment plant, and any documents with the purchase of said chemicals. Funding is available in 368-54335. Any questions on this one?
Make a motion to approve.
Moved by Commissioner Roach,
Second.
second by Commissioner Haynes. Any further discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please call roll.
Commissioner Roach?
Yes.
Commissioner Haynes?
Yes.
Commissioner Bowers?
Yes.
Commissioner Hale?
Yes.
Mayor May?
Yes, 10.7 is approved. Next item is 10.8, and this would authorize the signing of an access agreement with Chevron Environmental Management for the accessing the parking lot at 403 West Main Street. And this is at the direction of the Kentucky Department of Environmental Protection.
I move for approval.
Moved by Commissioner Haynes,
Second.
second by
Second.
Commissioner Bowers. Any further discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please call roll.
Commissioner Roach?
Yes.
Commissioner Haynes?
Yes.
Commissioner Bowers?
Yes.
Commissioner Hale?
Yes.
Mayor May?
Yes. Okay, that includes the agenda items unless there's any other new business. I was going to say, I apologize for being late due to an out-of-town business meeting. I appreciate Mayor Pro Tem. Sorry. Oh, Mayor Pro Tem Roach handling the meeting. Thank you all for your indulgence. And we're going to check. I'm pretty sure we can do it, but I was going to say we'll keep the floor open so I could send a note so I could be recorded as voting on those items that we already discussed. If that's okay, the city solicitor's going to double check on that. So we won't do any other business other than just so I can file the proper papers to be recorded, so record some votes. Correct? Okay. All right. And what we'll do is we'll just reconvene in the boardroom, unless anybody wants to come back in here. Well, you know.
It may take me more than a couple of minutes, but I'll definitely go look at the Roberts rules.
Do you need to record it back in here if we do that? Or I can just do it in writing?
No, I've not had this before.
What do you I'm lost.
I was just going to fill out a form just saying that I'd like to be recorded on voting on those items, 8 or 4.1.
Even though you weren't here?
Right, since I'm here now, to go back and say it can be recorded as voting, yes.
And I'm going to look at the statute and the Robert Rules of Order, but I'm not aware of any provision which would allow that. And what might be the best process, Mayor, is to fill out the form, and then the commission would just look at that at the next.
It's not a huge thing. Just wanted to. We do it under Mason's manual. I know you do it under Mason's manual. I'm not sure our rules actually authorize or don't authorize. It's not a huge thing. It's not a huge thing. If there's no other new business, we're going to do a closed session.
Mayor, the city has received.
Okay.
The city has received a request for a hearing from Mr. Ray Warmoth with respect to the city manager's recommendation on his employment. And the city commission, of course, can approve his request for a hearing, or you can,
Don't we need to do that in a closed session?
the request for a hearing you don't. But in terms of discussing any of the details, you would need to do that in a closed session.
I make a motion that we accept the recommendation of the city manager and not go to closed session.
Second.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Roach and second by Commissioner Haynes. Is there any discussion? Okay. Clerk, please, I'm sorry. Clerk, please call.
I'm Ray Woman. I don't understand what he's doing.
Oh, okay. Well, right now I'm getting ready to vote, because this was a motion. I've got to dispose of that, and then we'll explain to you.
Okay.
Clerk, please call roll.
Commissioner Roach?
Yes.
Commissioner Haynes?
Yes.
Commissioner Bowers?
Yes.
Commissioner Hale?
Yes.
Mayor May?
Yes. Thank you. It was just, instead of going to a closed session tonight, to accept what the city manager's recommendation was. Okay, any other business? It's not.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Not sure who said that first. They were both. Oh.
Commissioner Roach.
Okay. Commissioner Roach,
Yes.
second by Commissioner Bowers. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. We are adjourned.